Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Browse News broadcast. During a recent press briefing, NBC News' Garrett Hack pressed White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt on President Trump's social media post threatening to strike Iranian civilian infrastructure. The threat specifically mentioned targeting electric generating plants, oil wells, Karg Island, and water desalination plants. Hack highlighted that such actions could constitute a war crime under international law, questioning how this aligns with the administration's stance of not targeting civilians. In response, Leavitt stated that President Trump has made it clear to the Iranian regime that their best course of action is to make a deal. She emphasized that the United States Armed Forces possess capabilities beyond their wildest imagination, and that the president is not afraid to use them. However, she also affirmed that the administration and military would always act within the confines of the law while pursuing the objectives of Operation Epic Fury unabated. This is according to NBC News. The group of 7 major democracies declared their readiness to take all necessary measures in close coordination to preserve the stability and security of the energy market, according to a communiqué released on Monday, as reported by JJ Press. This pledge came after an online meeting of G7 energy and finance ministers and central bank chiefs, held to address the global economic impact of soaring crude oil prices and other factors stemming from the prolonged Middle East conflict. Japan was represented at the meeting by Industry Minister Ryose Akazawa, Finance Minister Satsuki Katayama, and Bank of Japan Governor Kazuo Ueda. The communiqué welcomed the International Energy Agency members' decision on March 11 to authorize the largest coordinated oil stocks release in response to the de facto blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Following the meeting, Akazawa told reporters that G7 officials reaffirmed their commitment to remain prepared for further necessary actions. He also emphasized the urgent need to prepare for additional coordinated releases of oil reserves, noting that many Asian countries are experiencing soaring energy prices and growing concerns over supply stability due to difficulties in procuring crude oil, anticipating the situation could become more prolonged. International oil prices rose sharply on March 30, with Brent crude futures for May climbing 2% to $114.94 per barrel, and West Texas Intermediate (WTI) crude futures also up 2% to $101.68 per barrel. This surge was primarily fueled by intensifying market concerns that an escalating Middle East conflict could severely disrupt global energy market stability. According to Deji Ba, Societe Generale now forecasts Brent crude to average $125 per barrel in April, with a significant possibility of reaching $150 if the Strait of Hormuz remains effectively closed. Analysts warn that if the Bab el-Mandeb Strait at the southern end of the Red Sea also closes, oil prices could see even more substantial increases. Societe Generale believes there is no immediate prospect of a significant de-escalation in the conflict involving the U.S., Israel, and Iran. Macquarie Group estimates a 40% probability that oil futures could reach $200 per barrel if the conflict persists until June and the Strait of Hormuz remains blocked. The recent missile launches by Yemen's Houthi rebels against Israel, coupled with threats of continued action, underscore the volatile situation, as their capabilities could impact crucial shipping lanes and even Saudi Arabia's Yanbu port, a key alternative for oil exports. Al Jazeera reports that Cuba is currently awaiting the arrival of a sanctioned Russian oil tanker carrying thousands of barrels of oil. This comes after the island nation has endured nearly 3 months under a United States blockade. which has severely exacerbated its domestic fuel crisis. From Havana, Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports that residents are holding on to hope that this impending oil delivery will significantly ease the critical shortages they have been facing. The situation highlights Cuba's reliance on international partners amidst ongoing geopolitical tensions and sanctions. According to Gingi Risbal, the 14th Ministerial Conference of the World Trade Organization, WTO, held in Cameroon, concluded without an agreement to extend the temporary exemption from customs duties on e-commerce. This critical 28-year-old system, which has been renewed every 2 years since 1998 and covers over half of global service exports, is now set to expire at the end of March due to the breakdown in negotiations. While the United States and some other nations advocated for a permanent extension, Brazil's opposition to duty-free treatment for digital downloads and streaming led to the impasse. Developing countries generally express concerns over potential tax revenue losses from a long-term extension. The conference also failed to achieve consensus on reform plans, intensifying the pressure on the WTO as it increasingly faces marginalization amid rising economic nationalism. Both U.S. officials and the International Chamber of Commerce expressed deep frustration over the outcome. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.